In this video, I'm asking, why can't we have all the new toys at the same time? Roll titles. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James, that Micro Four Thirds guy, and as you can see the weather's a bit pants, to tell you the truth. It's a little bit on the wet and rainy side, so I ain't going to be doing any photo walks today, that's for sure. Even though the temperature is quite nice, it's about 18 degrees outside still, but it's not the best weather. Well, warm welcome to all the 200 or so new subscribers who subscribed after watching the Sycamore Gap videos. Thank you very much. Welcome to our little band of merry subscribers on here. It's reached about 9,500 at the moment, and I did say I was going to do a special video to mark my 10,000th subscriber. And it's getting there too quickly. I haven't actually got around to doing anything yet, so I'm going to have to get my skates out and get something of a bit of a haste on to do my 10,000 subscriber special. But it will be coming. But really nice to see you. If you are one of the new subscribers, welcome to this band of merry people, because my subscribers on here are absolutely fabulous people, and it's really good to see you. Just before I start going then, I better tell you that if you would like to become a patron of the channel, there is a link, and these wonderful people here are my patrons already of the channel, and there's a link below if you'd like to become a patron of the channel and help keep the channel going. And if you'd just like to give a one-off, buy a cup of coffee or a super thanks, there's links and buttons down below in the description and on the front too. However, on with this video. Yeah, I was asked a question the other day online by one of the responders to my video on the Lumix G9 Mark II release and why I'm not going to be buying one. And one of the questions was, they've given us a 25 megapixel sensor, good. They've given us PDAF, the face detect autofocus, good. Why haven't they given us a stacked sensor? Now, Olympus have a stacked sensor, but haven't given us 25 megapixels, but we already have PDAF from them. So why do we have this impasse? Why don't the technology's there? Why don't they just release it at once? Well, that started me thinking back many years ago, and this may be the reason. I'm not necessarily saying it is, so please, Olympus or OMDS and Lumix, please don't jump on and tell me that I'm spreading disinformation. I don't know if this is actually how you work or not, but let's just surmise that it may be how you work. Many years ago, I was in IT, and I worked for a company, and they sent me down on a course when I was head of IT for a large giftware company. They sent me down on a course to one of the major manufacturers of photocopiers and printers in the UK. And it was actually a Japanese company, but they had a big manufacturing plant in the UK. And we were taking through their products. We were talking through the whole thing about how they sell the products, how they make the products, how they market their products. And at the time, we're talking 20 odd years ago, so maybe more. In fact, it was the middle of the 90s, middle of the 1990s, so you can imagine how long ago it was. But we were just about to get our first colour photocopier in the business I was in, and it was a big thing. And we looked at it, we looked at how the photocopier was done, and basically what the photocopier was a flatbed scanner. It would do a normal sort of scan across. It would then put it in the computer. It would then put it out on what was effectively a high-end laser printer. And we said, well, some of us who were a bit savvy said, well, surely, if this is just basically a laser printer, could you not put a parallel interface on the back of it and use this as a laser printer, high-end laser printer from a computer as well? And the guy who was talking to us sort of looked at us and said, well, actually, on this new release, we do have a parallel interface for that. So therefore, yes, you can do that. It's going to be one of our design, one of our selling features. And this was the first one they'd done where you could actually have that on it. And that then prompted me to come up with it. Well, if you got a parallel printer there, but you've got a flatbed scanner effectively, and it's feeding it in, could you not put a serial port on, and it's in the days before USB, by the way, and do a scan to the computer, so it could be used as a flatbed scanner? Lots of mumbling, well, that's not really possible. So why not? It's the same signal. Basically, it's a flatbed scanner. It comes off serially off the scanner because it's scanned across. Surely that data, its own data, it can be put in to a serial format and put in a computer, and software read that. And then it could be manipulated and sent out. And I was taken off to one side, away from the rest of the people who were on the induction with me, because none of them had really picked up on this, and there was lots of that's a good idea from them. And I was taken up by one of the marketing people on one side, and asked if I would be rather quiet about this, because it wasn't necessarily something they were wanting to do, but they would give me a bit of an inside hitch on it. And I said, yeah, okay, that'd be nice to see something unusual. I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which it's well expired now, so I'm not really giving anything away on this, because I'm not going to mention their direct products or anything. But at the time, this was all groundbreaking. And he said, yes, we can do that. In fact, we actually have a version which will do that. But it's the version after this one, and it will have a serial and a parallel port on. He said it'll be in a different package, but it'll basically be what you're describing. So, right, okay. I said, but since this is a flatbed scanner, could you not put this out as a fax machine as well? And the look was, yeah, okay, we'll let you know, but just don't say. And basically what it was just planned obsolescence. It was planned obsolescence insofar as they already had the technology, they already had the foresight, they already had the ability on this very same piece of kit just to put a different board in, to have an RJ11 connection on the back for a telephone, which would put a modem card into it, which when you could flatbed scan straight to that and modem out. It meant that on another release, you could actually have the flatbed scanner acting as a scanner of the computer. Another release, which was the one we're doing, would act as the ability to print directly to it. And of course, just down the line, which I hadn't quite clicked on, of course, you could have an Ethernet connection and get this to be able to send, to have multiple ports that you could log into. But the point was, all of this was already on that particular chassis. It was already built, but it wasn't going to be released for another couple of years. And there seemed to be an agreement between the manufacturers that that's what they would do. So as not to step on each other's toes, instead of releasing the whole lot and having a really good machine now, by just giving one function away now, meant that next year, the new improved model could have what it's got now, plus something, in a nice different outer case, which was just different plastic moulding, but basically the same machine inside. Roll on about 5 or 6 years, and I was looking at one of their products, really nice new photocopier to replace the one that we'd bought 5 or 6 years previously. And I went down to the same manufacturers and I just had a little word with them and said, where are we up to with this? What's the score? Is this still the same basic machine? And when it was opened up and all the plastic panels were taken off, it was identical. It was an identical chassis. But what it meant was people had bought every year the newest one which had the newest features on, but the insides were the same. There were one or two tweaks, but effectively it had the modem board in, it had the printer board in, it had the scanner board in, it had the serial and parallel interfaces. And this was the same basic machine. But also in the same range were machines which looked lesser, didn't look quite as good. But if you opened them up, it was the same chassis. And this is what I think is maybe happening with the current crop of cameras, with the OM1 and with the G9 Mark II. I can't guarantee this. And as I say, please don't quote me on this as being a methodology from Lumix or Olympus. I would hate, if I'm wrong, I would hate to be badly judging them. But this is something which I would assume to be happening. I would think that the sensors are already able to be made, which are stacked, phase detect and 25 megapixel. But why release them now when the next model can have all three? Also, a lot of the things which are in the camera now, which aren't features, can be used by firmware updates in the next couple of years to make the camera that they've got regurgitated, reassembled, like we did with the original G9. Fantastic camera when it came out in 2018. But by the time you got the firmware version 2, it was almost like a different camera. It had so many new features, so many extras on it. So what do you think? Do we have planned obsolescence in that way, or am I just being something of a cynic? I actually think that it's a sensible way to be going, to tell you the truth, because it does allow development in the same sort of platform, which should, in theory, keep costs down a little bit. But the cynic in me also says it's a very easy way to keep on making money for the next couple of years when you've already done the development work on it. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested to know in the comments below. But until the next time, on this rainy day, I'll keep on saying, take your camera out, make sure it's waterproof, and have fun with your photos. See you soon. Bye-bye.